With What We Do in the Shadows Season 6 throwing the vampire roommates into a complicated new scenario, Mark Proksch weighs in on how Colin Robinson's energy vampire powers have affected him throughout the changing dynamics. The final season of the series, a sequel to Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement's 2014 horror comedy of the same name, sees the four vampires dealing with their familiar's departure and the return of a forgotten roommate. Proksch's Colin Robinson is the group's dull and mundane residential energy vampire, feasting off of the negative atmosphere exuded by others rather than a victim's blood. As What We Do in the Shadows Season 6 explores what the recently awakened Jerry, Mike O'Brien, changes around the Staten Island vampire household, Proksch dove into Colin Robinson's power changes in Screen Rant. With Jerry bringing strife and stress as he critiques the current status of their forgotten conquest of the New World and other personal aspirations, Proksch states that he is inundated by negative energy, causing him to overconsume and gain weight. Proksch did consider the question, however, questioning whether his own state of mind influences his energy vampire abilities, admitting to being curious whether Colin would be feasting as well if he was the only one feeling the strife in the household. Check out the rest of what Proksch shared below. What Proksch's comments hint towards Colin Robinson's Season 6 story. Colin Robinson faces many challenges with the changes new developments bring. Past seasons of What We Do in the Shadows have explored the extent of how Colin's powers change depending on different situations. From his immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses, his hunting grounds, and his cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Despite this exploration of Colin's potential, whether his own negative emotions weigh into his intake has not been developed. While Proksch may be pondering what recent events may have on Colin's diet, his comment does highlight what the rest of the final season has in store for him. Though Jerry harmed his roommates by pointing out their lack of progress in their professional and personal goals, Colin was left hurt by the returning vampire forgetting him, despite their past relationship. Furthermore, he was left concerned that Guillermo's, Harvey Guillen, absence left him vulnerable to being evicted. Proksch's hints towards Robinson's displeasure could suggest the character will face further trouble as the final season progresses. Our thoughts on Colin Robinson's Season 6 status. Robinson is a unique entity among vampires. Though Colin may be fatally dull by nature, he may be one of What We Do in the Shadows' most interesting concepts. Proksch's character not only has the capacity to overpower his traditionally empowered vampire comrades should the opportunity arise, but his biology was a mystery that they learned alongside audiences, leaving him an unlikely fascinating character among What We Do in the Shadows cast. As such, with only a handful of episodes remaining of the show, there may still be many unanswered questions once the series concludes, especially with Proksch himself wondering how the final season's events will affect his character. Despite being bland and boring by intention, Colin Robinson may stand out as one of What We Do in the Shadows' most lasting enigmas after the final episode concludes.